Welcome to the podcast of disaster. I'm your host LordM, and today accompanying me is
Quarter one for 37.
and today we have OC talk. It's been like I don't know 80 years since the last one. Today we have a returning guest that we have before, and today he wants to make an update since a lot of things has changed since the last video. Please present yourself.
Hello everyone, is Kygo back again?
Back at it again at Krispy Kreme.
Yes.
Alright, today he brought us his OC again to run up an update because the last video was a little starting, there weren't much things, but now he told us that there are a lot of things changed, his aura expanded, and well, we all ready to see what new things he brought to the table. So first up, let's start with a first question. Court, will you do the honors?
So what is your OC's name?
The name is Spring the Tanuki. He's a young kid. He enjoys life.
Spring the Tanuki. It's nice to see him
Yep.
back here again.
Oh my. Yeah.
All right, then I
The
guess
kid,
we move.
kid's been around. Kid's been almost now here for 6 years of my life. So yeah.
6 years already? Damn.
His anniversary is in September.
Ooh. He better get a lot of fan arts in September. Remember, put that in your calendar, people. All right, we move to the next question, I guess. What inspired you to make Spring?
It kind of dates back to like um early September in like 2021, where like I think COVID wasn't really like as prominent like before, kind of like started to like die down a bit. But um, I guess I was kind of like drawing for a little bit, like a couple of the Sonic characters, Sonic, Tails, I think Knuckles as well. I was drawing, and then like as I was scrolling through Pinterest, just looking up like art ideas and such, I was like just getting curious about like Sonic OCs and what they were about, and I thought to myself, perhaps I could make one myself and to see how I feel about it. And it took about, let's say, 2 to 3 years to like nail down like the exact like design for Spring that I wanted. And obviously to this day, he's got this design which I'm happy with. But before he was obviously a lot more different. He didn't even have the name Spring. He was well, he would be like my stoner, as people would call their OCs, but I just like him as just an OC, but not my Sona. Although most people would just recognize me of having the Tanuki OC and they think, oh, it's their Sona. But I've clarified multiple times that's not the case. Um, but yeah, they originally just didn't have like a shirt or anything like typical male OCs, but I wanted him to be look unique but also different to like most male OCs. So he obviously has his outfit and stuff, which I'm quite happy with how he is. In terms of like the inspirations as well, there was a few things. I think Tails and Marine were like two prominent factors behind that because like kid characters like Tails, Marine, or Cream, like I like those characters. I think they're good. What they bring to the Sonic franchise themselves. So I kind of wanted to like make an OC which is also like in the kid category as well to like expand upon it because you rarely see like kid OCs being made. Most of them are like in the adults or the teenagers. So yeah, that was one of them. The second being I guess I was kind of a little bit into like Mario before, and particularly one of the power ups which Mario gets is like the little leaf power up, which
The Tanuki
has
suit.
the Tanuki, yeah. So like that kind of is like one of the leading roles for like the design and the species of choice for spring. And then obviously it developed into like what he is today, and I'm quite happy with how he's turned out, and I'm happy I've had him for around 5.5 years now, which is crazy. And I didn't really think I'd be using him for this long, but you know, I'm happy with who he is, what he is, kind of just like my identity and around the Sonic franchise these days. But yeah, I'm happy with how he turned out.
Well, it's nice to hear this inspiration you have. Quick question: How how long? Damn, I already forgot. I was uh, damn.
My mouth has been talking so much.
Damn. Alzheimer is already hit. The dementia is hitting me. I probably gonna get it back in my head again. So let's move to the next question. Courte?
Okay, so what is his lore? Tell us a bit about Spring.
Well, his
Like
lore
what he's all
definitely
about.
has. Well, yeah. Oh, his lore has definitely expanded a bit, and it's developed into like stages of what happened before and then where it's gone after. But to basically sum it up, Spring and Tanuki, he was born all the way in Seaside City, which is one of the locations that were mentioned in IDW. He lived there for 6 years, obviously being born there. Lived with his mum and dad. In those 6 years, he would just live a normal life. His parents all seemed fine and dandy. He loved to draw, explored the city, and explored the forest around that were close to his home for like a sense of adventure. But after his birthday, when he turned 6, um, his parents began to start showing some strange um, actions and just started acting crazy, to which he had very little understanding of what was going on for his age. But his parents would occasionally just lash out and lose control. Like arguments, fights kept on breaking out between the parents. Spring at most points, unfortunately, was like caught in the crossfire of the arguments.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was rough after that. He was almost made to look like the problem for what was going on with the parents, even though he had no idea as to why it was the case.
That's
He
very
lost,
sad.
yeah, he lost his mind. He just got so upset for at least like 2 months after the birthday, and then he just could not handle it. So he made the difficult decision of running away from his home and leaving Seaside City, to which he has never visited ever again after that.
Mm.
And then he had to live out in the forest, sort of around near where that place was, because he obviously has explored the forest before, so he had a bit of a sense of knowing where he was going.
Hmm.
He lived out there for 2 whole years of his life. Till he was about 8 years old, which obviously is his age now.
Hmm.
He obviously understood what he needed to do to survive, but he was terrified, scared, being all alone, foraging for any berries, gathering sticks
Mm.
to build a mini shelter, any source of water near ponds. Sometimes even using the water himself to clean himself up, even if he was
Hmm.
getting muddy out there by himself.
Mm.
He was even learning things about himself, particularly um, his ability to jump really high,
Hmm.
henceforth the name, basically allowing him to just reach places pretty high and stuff.
Right.
His record jump recorded 10 meters.
Oh, wow.
That's that is the record. Yeah,
That's pretty high.
Yeah, Tails helped measure how far he could jump, and obviously he's been able to control his jumps, which so he doesn't instantly just jump 10 meters every single time. Don't accidentally bash your head on the roof.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would not be pleasant.
And then more points I've got. This then later, of course, then goes into when he meets some friendly faces along the way. As he was living in the forest, he would then run into a rabbit gal and a chow, cream and cheese, who they discovered spring in the forest, as they were also exploring as well. Obviously, they exchanged hellos. Also, Cream obviously showed some concern for Spring's condition. Kindly introduced themselves, but also offered shelter back at their home. And obviously, Cream had to reassure to Spring that everything was okay, that it wasn't going to be in any harm. Said that he could trust them. Spring obviously was hesitant. Spring obviously hesitated, but he sensed that he was, I guess, fine. Don't know how I could really describe that, but yeah. Obviously, meeting up with obviously her mother Vanilla, obviously providing the shelter, cleaning himself up. And Vanilla even helped spruce up his little booth hair at the front. Styled out. Obviously, Spring would obviously speak briefly about his situation and what happened. And let's see here.
Does
He might need to
he does he
Hmm?
meet anybody else from the circle of friendship of Vanilla and Cream, for example, the Chaotix or Amy?
Yeah, I do have points about that. I just got I don't think I really mentioned who he meets afterwards. I've got notes of his relationship with other characters in here.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's been mostly just Cream and Cheese for the moment. Obviously, spent the first 3 days there, being treated fairly, of course. Healthy food, but Spring even volunteering to help with chores around the house. He obviously felt more and more comfortable as the days went on.
He's such a good kid.
Yeah, it's crazy how he managed to live through a harsh environment before. My God. He obviously opened up about his hobbies and what he liked to do, particularly drawing, which Cream also liked doing as well. So particularly they just had fun drawing sessions together, which was fun. Both of them we've even also explored just outside the house a little bit, just have a little bit of sense of adventure, just have fun as kids would do. Also Spring trying to also get better at communicating with people. I forgot to mention he also has autism, which is another fact I forgot to mention. He obviously had trouble with eye contact, listening in, sensitive to touch, of course. And then at some point later, Spring was then invited by Vanilla to shop over by Central City, where Vanilla offered Spring if he would like any sort of outfit change or something like that. So he thought it was a nice idea, so they went to have a look. And eventually Spring found some clothes that he liked, and well, to this day we know what he looks like with his nice crimson sweater and shoes, black trousers. Yeah, he's had a bit of a nice glow up. Kind of a nice kind of a nice identity change, moving on from the past and into the future in a way.
A new start, basically.
Basically that, yes.
Anything else you wanna add to the your question?
Yes, he has. Yeah, he does have a child companion that I forgot to mention. Obviously, Spring got curious about like the existence of cheese in Cream's life, and I was like, "Why? Where did you find them?" And so Cream obviously offered Spring if they would like to visit the Chow Garden nearby, and Spring, the curious kid he is, thought, "Why not? Go have a look." And, he was even thinking about adopting one himself. Obviously, he had a difficult time obviously picking one out until he found one that was up in a tree picking up a chow fruit, which accidentally fell. The chow also fell. Spring quickly rushed over to grab it before it fell into the ground,
Mhm.
and they immediately became best buddies. Nice yellow and orange and yellow chow that he named himself Tangy.
That's adorable.
Yeah, they've been inseparable, and obviously Spring is obviously grateful to Cream and Vanilla for obviously giving him the chance to obviously do this. But yeah, that's his lore mainly down.
Well, he got a very extensive lore now.
Yep.
Speaking of extensive, let's move to the next question. Does he have mm, family? A ways. I know you answered this in the lore, but uh, besides besides the parents, Vanilla and Queen, does he have other family members around or people that he consider
Uh,
family?
well, he would more so consider Cream and Vanilla as like family, like a proper family for him. Even though, of course, he lived a normal life for like 6 years before obviously things went down over in Seaside City. He's kind of just grown to love the new environment he's in. He's made his first friend, obviously with Cream, being treated respectfully and caringly by Vanilla, of course. So, yeah, it was a more peaceful and more open environment to make him feel loved, cared for. So yeah, that's kind of like that's he sees them as family. That's all I can really say about it. Which that's probably the best description to give for that.
All right.
Hello.
No. Sorry, I was waiting for Courte to say something, but he BRB. Don't worry. Well, I guess I do the next question in his place. What's the favorite food or activities to do?
Particularly, of course, I mentioned one. Drawing was like his favorite thing to do. He just had a knack for drawing, like constantly, 24/7, as you would say. But yeah, he enjoys it. I think he picked it. I didn't exactly like mention like when he picked it up or anything, but if I was to like say, I think like when he was like 4 or 5 or something, I don't know. Probably need to update on that, but yeah, he just loved drawing. He enjoyed like you know creating things from his own imagination. He still draws to this day. He's never dropped off it. Even if he has bad days, he still finds a way or an excuse to draw just to take his mind off things. In terms of food, pizza, particularly pepperoni toppings,
Great
and I guess
choice.
also yeah, I guess also another hobby, exploring. He always loved doing that, and obviously, particularly in his 2 years of living by himself in the forest, he did a lot of that exploring. Got to see many things. Just get fascinated by like the forest around him. He never really particularly explored like outside of like where he was like residing when he was out in the forest. So you never really like found like a city or a town or a village in that time. Obviously, until obviously he met Cream, he obviously discovered obviously Laurel Forest Village, which is obviously Cream's home. But yeah,
Well, it's nice to hear that he draws and yeah, he loves pizza. Do you have an art about that? You know, doing either of those things?
what do you mean?
Yeah, like if you
Like, have
have
you drawn spring drawing or eating pizza?
exactly that.
I'm surprised I've never actually done that before. That's kind of the weirdest thing.
Well,
Well, this time I mentioned it, just I haven't really like done that before. I definitely need to someday, but yeah,
well, we can expect that for the future.
2028.
All right, let's move to the next question. Since I took the question of Court, he can take mine.
Does he have any transformations or powers?
Well, I'm sure obviously most people would know about Tanukis if they obviously know about like ancient stuff and whatnot. They would particularly obviously be known for like shape shifting and stuff. But Spring is not that person. As I've mentioned before, as he was out in the forest by himself, he obviously discovered more about himself. Particularly, of course, jumping really high, and he's obviously been able to control that and how high you can jump. But yeah, that's all I can really add on that.
All right, then let's try the next one. Court, do it again because I did two, and right now you did one.
Does he have a job?
I would say he used to have one, and this is more like later on in like the story following like in the events of like the IDW comics themselves. If I was like think like any particular order, so it was more so like after like the metal virus plague had been like fully done. Spring like chose to volunteer and assist in rebuilding the restoration. He would particularly be the person to help bring supplies and store inventory. He just wanted to like obviously help out and stuff, have a purpose in life. He obviously had his own room in the restoration as well. There's obviously like obviously he volunteered to help. He obviously met Jewel, which he then of course then eventually met Tangle and Whisper as well. Well, there, so that's nice. Obviously, we know the restoration's been destroyed after what happened in one particular arc, but yeah,
Yeah,
I haven't really added on much to that like part of the whole story of the whole IDW stuff, but in a way you could say he's like unemployed, I guess, at the moment. I don't know. But yeah,
well,
it was
he's a
more but
kid,
yeah,
so
it was mostly just volunteer work, which he just like doing.
yeah, he's a kid. So maybe he have to wait a little bit for a job. And yes, he helps out Vanilla with whatever job she has.
Starting wage, 1 ring a week.
His allowance.
£1, hell yeah.
All right, then let's move to the next question. Are they connected or they know somebody from the canon story of the Sonic universe? Besides the people you already mentioned.
I guess and this is like the relationship type of thing.
Yeah, we can say that.
Yeah, I do have a lot of points about some characters on this list that I have. I guess I could briefly go about it. Obviously, I mentioned about Cream the Rabbit and stuff. Obviously, it was Spring's first ever friend. The two obviously grew a healthy friendship. Sorry. Obviously, yeah. I'm not trying to not mix with words. He's of course forever thankful for Queen's kindness and obviously her understanding him for who he is and the situation. They've done, of course, many activities together, gathering flowers to flower crowns, drawing together. Obviously, Spring cares for her a lot. And there's other characters on this list. Amy, Spring met her when transitioning over to living at Restoration HQ. This is like after when Neo Metal was defeated at that point, and obviously when they were obviously rebuilding after the whole war of events. They've only really had like one big talk between one another, but um, Spring trusted Amy for who she was. Obviously, she trusts him, knowing that he's doing all the right things, that'll make a difference. He briefly met Sonic during the Metal Virus plague. I think it was like after Sonic barely just got out of Sunset City. Obviously, Sonic wanted to make sure that Spring was okay, reassuring him that everything's going to be fine. But this was mainly as he was like passing by, and obviously, then obviously, he was going to have his chat with Tails and Silver in that one conversation. Tails is more so like one of his more closer friends. Spring was always fascinated with Tails' genius and his inventions. And obviously, Spring was obviously aided by Tails to know like how high he could obviously jump the 10 meters, which Tails helped measure. Um, he's never met Knuckles, but he's been told about him briefly for who he is. Uh, he's only known about Shadow from one chat with Rouge. Obviously, she told him about who he was and what he has been through. Because I think like he'd like to meet Shadow one day, but that might just be one rare occurrence. Let's see, Rouge. They both met at the Restoration during the Melvirus Plague. They've only had one chat between each other, but mainly about Shadow. Rouge wants teased Spring about his friendship with Cream, and he got immediately flustered about it. Forgot I wrote that down. He obviously sees Rouge as an ally, and hopefully they can form a friendship in some way, as long as she doesn't tease him again. He's had one brief run-in with Omega, but never spoke to him. He'd much rather keep his distance in case Omega were to go berserk.
Hey, yeah, totally
I got that in mind.
understandable.
I got that in mind. So here's the Chaotix notes. He's only known the Chaotix for their detective work, but also knowing the base resides back in Seaside City, to which obviously Spring despises, and obviously doesn't want to go back there again from his previous trauma. He had seen Vector and Espio, obviously when they were carrying Charmy, who was a zombie at that time in the Restoration HQ, obviously before things went out of control. In short, no, Spring got consumed in that place. Sad. He considers Vector an ally and an effective leader. He respects Espio and finds him cool for his ninja techniques. He grew a nice friendship with Charmy. They also hang out sometimes. Spring is one of the few who can tolerate Charmy for his energy and annoyance at times. And then, let's see, Tangle. Spring sees Tangle as like a big sister and is fun to hang out with at the restoration. They've had fun chats and at times tell funny stories to one another. They both find each other fascinating for their own unique talents. Spring for his jumping ability and Tangle for, of course, her tail, I think as a third hand. He briefly was introduced to Whisper, basic acquaintance type stuff. He was obviously curious and obviously was fascinated by Whisper's Whisper gadgets and the Wisps, of course. He's mostly let Whisper, of course, have her own space. Doesn't want to completely overhaul her with questions. Obviously knew that she could be trusted. Jewel, this is when obviously Spring volunteered to help rebuild the restoration after the Meltavirus stuff happened. So obviously Spring went up to Jewel and obviously asked to help out. They've only interacted a few times, but mainly only with like when Jewel would obviously like task him to do things, which obviously he obviously accepted because he trusted her leadership and guidance at the time, and obviously understood that she had a tough role. Lanolin, they never really interacted, but have briefly introduced themselves. Lanolin's even commended Spring for his efforts in helping out, but also he's even complimented him for his craftsmanship and artistic skills, which is nice. Vanilla, she's basically like a second mother or like a true mother to him. Obviously, he's got a more happy childhood now than he did before, which is nice. There's a few more cards on here. I promise it's not long. We've got Silver. They're yet to have a proper talk amongst one another, but have had simple introductions. This was during the Malvirus plague. Spring was obviously curious and fascinated by his ability time travel, but also his psychokinesis powers. The Blaze one's pretty interesting. An interesting dynamic between the two. Blaze first saw Spring as untrustworthy for being a Tanuki. It's a nice little nod to Team Sonic Racing in some of the dialogue, which obviously are known to be thieves from what Blaze thinks. Spring obviously did get the chance to talk to Blaze about who he was and obviously wanted to reassure him that no, I'm a good person. I don't steal. Obviously, Spring knew about Blaze because Spring had chats to Spring about her other friends before. Blaze is obviously mentioned. Blaze then, of course, trusted Spring quickly and obviously apologized. Spring obviously respects her for her duties as a princess and a guardian. There's only a few more characters now here. Belle, they became good friends at the Restoration, and obviously Spring accepted her for who she was as a robot made of wood. They obviously talked about who they were and where they came from, and agreed to have an understanding for one another. Belle enjoyed his company, and with that time asked him to lend a hand with tasks at the Restoration, which is nice. Spring has never met Big. He's only really been told about him by Amy and Cream. He hopes one day to meet him, and hopes they get along.
I think they would.
Yeah. And then lastly is Sturge and Kit. I put them into one. He's briefly introduced himself to the pair. Obviously, although he did feel a little bit of concern, got a little bit worried how they approach themselves. He, of course, tries to be respectful to them, gives them space. He doesn't know whether to trust them or not, but remains neutral. This is like before the Restoration completely like went haywire. But yeah, that's the whole list of characters I've got written down. But that answers that question.
Well, that was
Okay.
that was a very young one.
Yeah.
He had been everywhere and met everyone. Well, almost everyone.
Almost, yeah.
Well, I guess I let Courte take the step on the next question.
Oh boy, this is gonna be a very interesting one.
Oh god.
Does he have a love interest?
In a way, yes, but he doesn't want to express it to not obviously ruin his friendship. Oh, it was Cream, which is obviously the love interest. Obviously, he hasn't expressed it. Doesn't want to
Yeah,
potentially
'cause
ruin the friendship because he understands they're young,
Yeah.
so it's not the right time. But obviously, Cream's kindness and care for him obviously developed obviously their friendship. They're very connected with one another. And obviously, Spring would develop that feeling, but doesn't want to do it to tarnish a friendship that he's built. Uh, that's all I'm going to add on to that.
Let's just say platonic, I guess.
Platonic, yeah, I guess. Well, I mean, yeah, you could say. I mean, yeah, you could say you could platonically love someone, yeah, but it would sound weird if you were a kid. Let's be honest, here.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think kids would understand that.
Obviously, if you love, obviously, if you say you love your parents, obviously that's gonna be common. But someone else, like that's, yeah,
Yeah. Especially when you're a kid, yeah.
yep. And no, I don't plan on like doing a future story
Not
yet.
even try to make sheep art at the moment.
Mainly friendship art, that's what I call it.
Yeah, I
I
guess.
do have obviously, I obviously do have examples. Yeah.
All right. Then let's wait for the expansion of this, ship for the future. But
Oh my
now
god.
we have time. We have time. Now, for the next question is: do they have a rival or enemy, or at least a person they don't like?
Well, I mean, the main answer for the enemy would obviously be Eggman,
Well,
kind of the
yeah.
obvious. He doesn't really have a grudge with anyone. He's kind of just try to not make things worse. He wants a healthy relationship with the people he meet, at least, and doesn't want to make them upset or anything. So
Yeah.
he tries to be nice, respectful, and like I said before, gives Whisper some space at times. Gives Surgeon Kit some space, even though they are clearly obviously not the nicest folk.
Yeah.
So yeah, he doesn't want to do anything stupid.
Fair enough. We don't want him. We don't want the boy to get hurt.
Yep.
Definitely not.
He's already
Right.
been hurt enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He deserves some
Yeah.
hugs. Speaking of hugs, Court, will you take the rail of this question? The wheels.
Well, I don't know if this question necessarily has to do with hugs, but anyway, do you have any fan art of Spring?
Yes, I do, and I have the names named down. Where did you want me to put them in?
Just drop them in the chat. I will showing them in the thing. All right. I see the little Tanuki has gotten quite a lot between fan arts. Around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8 Finance. I'm not gonna say the other number. I'm not gonna say the other number.
And there's more than that, probably, I'd imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, there's more, but these are just some that I particularly like.
The people right now should be seeing the fan art as well with the the ad of the artist that made the set drawing. So all of you go ahead and give them some love. Or you can see more stuff, more art they have made.
Mm-hmm.
Now I guess we move to the next question. Uh, what do you want it to be at the end of your story? Like for example, if you have to give him a bad ending, good ending, what he's gonna be doing, all that stuff.
I think ultimately he's gonna have a good ending, considering like the past and how it went for him, and then like his story has like uplifted and changed him for the better. So yeah, I think his story would definitely have like a happy ending. If like his story was like a film in a way, then like yeah, a happy ending would definitely be on the cards.
And what would he be doing in this, good ending future in this story? Like, what kind of stuff do you imagine to see him do?
Oh, living out his life, continuing to explore the world for what it is, staying clear of Sunset City, of course. I mean Seaside City, sorry. But yeah, obviously his child companion's there with him, so he's always got company. He wants to one day, of course, use his drawings to spread happiness to the world because he will continue to draw all the time. That's his love, that's his passion. That's kind of like one of the goals that I wanted him to be, like a dream for him in a way.
Nice. He deserved the happy ending after everything. Now, I guess we move to the next question, and this one of the new ones that people that want to be part of the OC talk might have to encounter. Uh, Court, will you take the strings?
Okay. Do you want them to show up in a game or in a video made by someone or anything like that? Like if someone were to make a video talking about spring, I don't know, like if he were to like make a cameo somewhere.
Yeah, a cameo, I guess.
Yeah, I think I just love him just to have a cameo in a way. Not like major role in a way, but like just in the background, just
Yeah.
feeling involved and a part of the world or a video, I guess. So that's always nice.
I can imagine Spring popping out of nowhere. Hey, it's me, Spring. Did that guy just turn into sand?
Spring would be the guy to try and like jump constantly when there's like a horde just circling around the crowd or something like that.
We're gonna be playing find the spring, just a spot on Waldo.
Oh my god.
That would be a fun thing to put a bunch of OCs and search him between the crowd.
Where's Wally?
Where's Wally? Where's Spring? Or where's Glacier?
Oh, yeah, I need someone out there in the OC community to do like a one giant art piece and just have like a massive crowd and you just gotta like spot like certain things on like a list. Like obviously the Wally game.
That would be a fun game for everyone. Not gonna lie. Try to find your OC specifically. Hey, there is mine right there in that pixel.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. I guess it will be me because I put the thing wrong. uh, this one is special since Yorosi is kind of a good boy, he's nice and all that. How would you imagine an evil version of Yorosi?
To be honest, I never really had thoughts or imagined a scenario like that. Uh, I don't really particularly like go for things that could be like evil related, but um, obviously he'd just not be nice and whatnot. Um, yeah, it never really came to my mind of like what that would be, so I don't really have much to add on to that point.
Hmm. Would it be a possibility to see a AU of Spring being a villain after everything that happened before meeting Green Vanilla?
That would be a fun concept.
Evil Tanuki.
Yeah.
He's so evil that he doesn't recycle. All right, I guess that was the last question. And yes, Courte can come up with a new question because I run
Not
out.
right now.
Because I
Not right
run
now.
out.
This is already going on for quite a while, anyways. I think.
Let me check. Damn. Yep, we win a lot. I think this is
Oh
the
my goodness.
youngest. I think this is the youngest OC talk we ever had. And that's
I'm
good.
glad I could be here for it this time because I missed Kygo's first episode. I was bummed
How
about
dare
that.
you?
Well, because I think at the same time we were also doing a main episode of the podcast, and I was in that instead, and I
Yeah,
was not having a good time, frankly. So, yeah.
it was the
Um,
I think Shadow Generations or the '05.
I think so. I think so. It was something to do with like Shadow, but yeah, we were doing that, and you guys were doing this, and I was like, man, this sucks. But enough about that. Yeah, I think I said everything I would have wanted to. I asked all the questions I would have wanted to. So
Yeah. Uh,
let's just wrap it up now.
all right, just start wrapping it up. But before that, do you have any social? Well, you already answered this in
Oh
the
yeah,
part one, but do you have any social or other places where you show your stuff and people can see it?
for the people who didn't watch the other one.
Exactly.
Yeah, I do. Let me just pull up the links real quick.
Don't worry, I still have them, so they should be showing up in the screen right now. Anything you want to say to the people that is watching right now, like a message or something like that?
Well, I hope you all have at least, oh, hopefully not been bored out by my long monologues of talking.
Nah,
But
if they
hopefully,
reach at this moment, they still love you. They still watching you.
yeah.
They
But I
should
mean,
be.
yeah. I mean, I hope they at least have a little bit more of an understanding for spring, because like I know like most OCs I've seen have like they're like fleshed out and stuff, and like I felt bad not like having spring be like developed in a way where he has character, he has relationships with other people, hobbies, other stuff he does. Like I didn't want to miss how not like not feel included, not giving him a chance. So I'm happy to have
Yeah,
at
we
least
learned a
given
lot
him.
about him tonight.
Yeah, you've got a lot to edit out, I guess.
Yeah. Well, after learning more and updating the lore of the little cutie Tanuki, I hope everyone has a nice time. Again, thank you, Kygo, for showing up and give us the update.
Mhm.
And well,
It was my pleasure.
and well, this has been OC Talk. I am LordM.
I am Courte 37.
And thank you for watching this episode of OC Talk. If you want your OC to have his own moment to shine, join the Discord server and apply for OC Talk application. And if you want him to be the OC of the day, as we're doing in the Blue Sky and the X, or I mean Twitter, you can also submit it in the channel called OC of the Day and have, a little spin on the wheel to see if you get to become the OC of the day or, you try next time. Still, this has been the podcast of Disaster, and we'll see you next time. Bye!
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye.